'cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Hello everyone, it's Lel, and we are going to talk about numbers and Precure sales. The Precure franchise has been on a high recently. You and Idol Precure seems to be a huge financial hit, and not only You and Idol, the franchise as a whole is regaining such a powerful financial gain that it's really surprising. We're going to check them in this video, and I'm going to try to explain how the sales work and how the numbers work, and we're going to go over the numbers. It's important to mention that I am not a very good person with numbers, especially in English, but I'm going to try, and I feel like we are able to have this conversation in a very nice manner. I feel like it's interesting for us to get to know. This is a little nice detail about the Precure franchise that is interesting to check out. So the first thing for us to understand is how Precure sales work. The numbers of the sales, how do they work? How can we interpret them? We have two different sales reports. One of them is from Toei and another one is from Bandai. The Toei numbers that they report are the licensing, the amount they make with the licensing of the Precure IP. So every time there is a new licensing from something related to Precure, Toei will report it in the quarters of the year. And the second number is from Bandai. Bandai is one of the manufacturers for the Precure toys. I say one of them because not all of the Precure items are from Bandai. Because the ones you buy on Pretty Store, for example, are not necessarily Bandai, but they are more directly from Toei. But the toys that we have, like the transformation devices, the weapons, the plushies, the dolls, the costumes, they're all from Bandai. Pretty Holic as well. So we have those two different reports, and we are going to look at both of them. We have now the numbers from... we already had the numbers from the first quarter of the year, and now we have from the second quarter of the year. Or it depends on how you will interpret these numbers, because you can interpret the quarters in two different ways as well. The first way is chronologically, like from in the block of a year from January to December, meaning the first quarter, January, February, March, the second quarter, April, May, June, etc. And there is also another way of dealing with those numbers, which is the fiscal year from Japan. The fiscal year from Japan starts in April and it ends in March. So sometimes companies will share the numbers differently, and fans will also count sales differently based on that, starting in April, finishing in March. So the first quarter of the fiscal year is April, May, June, and the last quarter is January, February, March. So just to explain the differences in charts that we're going to check out, those charts are all made by fans. Like this chart right here is like yearly, and we have another chart like this one, which is based on the fiscal year, starting in April, finishing in March. I'm going to give my opinion, but honestly, my opinion does not matter this much. So let's go over what we have, which is starting with the Toei numbers. Yes, this is the Toei numbers for the second quarter of the year or the first quarter of the fiscal year, meaning this one right here from April to June. We have 2.19, and this number hasn't been this high. These, as I said, are sales from Toei Animation, not sales up. They are the numbers from Toei Animation, and Toei Animation shares the numbers for the licensing of the Precure IP. So if Precure is doing well, if Precure is selling well, they're going to license more products, and the numbers are going to be bigger. The numbers from Toei Animation for 2025 from April, May, and June can match the numbers from the Smile era. After Smile, no other year got as high as this year, 2025. Look at the numbers: 1.92, 1.79, 1.24, 1.25, etc., etc., etc. coming into this year. 2.19, very close to 2.4. That was the licensing numbers from the Smile Precure year. It was even bigger, for example, than the Sweet Precure year. It was obviously smaller than the previous ones. I mean, not all of them, but some of them. So I feel like it's important for us to take a look at those numbers because we can really understand how the Precure IP got this momentum back. It really got... Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention here by looking at the Toei Animation numbers. Every time we talk about sales, we talk about Precure sales. Toei and Bandai, they do not share You and Idol Precure, Wonderful Precure, Hirogaru Sky. No, they just say Precure. That's it. Why do I say this? Last year, for example, was Wonderful Precure, right? And it had stellar numbers. It was really, really successful. But we had other stuff in the mix as well. For example, we had merch for Otona Precure. We had Dancing Star Precure. We had merch for past seasons. Futariwa also appearing a lot in merch, etc., etc., etc. These numbers are also part of the sales for every single year. No year is exempt for that, except for Futariwa. That was the start of the show. But we do not have separate sales by season. Obviously, what makes the most money when it comes to Precure is the season that is currently airing. There is way more merch that is being sold, and if the current season is being successful, the numbers are going to be astronomically high, as they are this year. Girl, the numbers for this year are really, really crazy, and they are on the same level, like at least from this second quarter, April, May, June, almost as close to how the Smile Precure era was, which was the moment in Precure that it was selling the highest. It's crazy. And if we look at the Bandai numbers are a little different, and this is the toy sales specifically from Bandai, not really counting everything, because for example, Dancing Star Precure does not have Bandai toys, but everything related to Bandai has also been very high. The Bandai numbers are a little different because, as I said, only toys. And here we can see that in the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, it has sold 27 billion. As I said, I'm horrible with numbers. And now for the second, 25. It's a little different from Toei Animation. The numbers are different. And in terms of toy, and I'm saying Toei Animation, it's not, it's just toy. And here we have the numbers for, they are exactly the same as Hugto. They are as strong as Hugto. And Hugto was a very, very powerful seller. Very, very powerful seller for when it comes to toys. It's been way too long since we had something selling as much as Hugto. The last season that sold more than Hugto, or as I said, it's not about the season specifically, but I'm going to use the season just to be more simple. But remember, I'm not only talking, when I say the season, I'm talking about the year that the season has aired, and not only the seasons from that year. Hugto was an anniversary season. It had merch for lots of stuff, and that obviously counts with this number as well. But the last time it sold more than Hugto was Smile, the Smile year. And it feels like You and Idol is coming into, is going directly into the Hugto route. Getting a 26 here in the third quarter is going to be very hard. I don't know if You and Idol is going to be able to make it. We can see that the third quarter of a year is not usually, the sales are not usually very high. But let's see how You and Idol is going to make it. It's July, August, September. We're going to see how that is going to go for You and Idol. But we can really see how powerful things are being for this season. One important thing is this item right here. I feel like this is something that is partially to blame for the success. The Idol Heart Brooch has been extremely, extremely successful. And we're talking about 2025, a year in which we have another franchise that is being super, super popular, which is Himitsu no Aipri. I mean, the Pretty franchise. Himitsu no Aipri, part of the Pretty franchise, is being super powerful, a very strong seller. We have Sylvanian families as well, which is also thought for young girls, just like Precure. We also have Priorche too. I don't think Priorche is a direct competition for Precure when it comes to popularity. But Precure has a lot of competition this year, and it's really blooming. This item has been the biggest seller of the year so far when it comes to girls' toys. It has been number one in February. The month it has been released. March, April, May, and then June, we got the Zukun Kiss item coming into first, and this is second. I believe this is coming back in first place soon enough. This is the item of the season. This is like selling extremely, extremely well. We have lots of other items that are like selling super well as well, but this one, the Idaho Brooch, is really, really a strong seller. So when it comes to the numbers, we have the numbers for Toei Animation, the first quarter of the fiscal year, which are April, May, and June. And so the Precure domestic rights was 219 million yen, which is this number that we were seeing right here. Okay, now I am able to understand those numbers. 219 million yen. It was the best number in 10 years for the first quarter of the fiscal year. Precure is doing amazing. And so it feels like UN Idol has been, or Kimi Puri has surpassed Hugto, which is truly amazing. And one of the analyses that the fans are doing for these numbers is that the 20th anniversary with Hirogaru Sky Precure, they have really tried to expand the customer base of Precure, and it feels like it has been paying out. Hirogaru Sky was a very experimental season in lots of ways, and it seems to have worked to bring back the Precure name, the Precure IP, to the minds of people, and for the people to return and to connect again to the Precure franchise. And when it comes to the Bandai numbers, which are very, very good as well, we can say that it is very similar to Hugto. And it's like it's an increase of 143% based on the last years. And so it's like the franchise is back to its peak condition. It's really, really crazy. And another thing is that how those charts that we see a lot on social media, they will change depending on how people will arrange the numbers. This chart here, for example, is based on the fiscal year in Japan. It starts in April and it ends in March. So the sales are going to be somewhat like this. Personally, like, this is obviously a choice when it comes to the people that are organizing the charts. So this is the Bandai chart. Yes, this is the Bandai chart as well. So it's really something like how people are going to organize the charts and how they are going to put the numbers together. Personally speaking, I like this one more because I feel like the one strong point of a season is the start of a season when it comes to sales, and the start of a season is in February. So the first quarter of the chronological year is, I feel, very important for the name of the season that is going to be put there. But another way of counting sales is by fiscal year, which is very important for people who invest in Toei, invest in Bandai. All of them are like relevant. So this is a relevant way of dealing with a chart. But it's up to you in which chart you'd like to visualize things better. This one is the fiscal year, and this one is the yearly regular chart. So this starts in January and it ends in December. So it's like, okay, for that year, 2025, those are the sales. And same for this one. And these other two, they start in April and end in March. So it's kind of weird when we get to 2024, for example, and we do not have the starting numbers for Wonderful Precure. But in here, they don't even put the name of the season. It's just like, okay, this is the fiscal year chart. So it's a little different, obviously, when it comes to sales. So this is another chart that is the numbers for Toei. And we can see that no season, this chart at least starts with Maho. No season before Maho was better than the You and Idol numbers. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like Smile was the last one that was this high. Isn't it wild? I just love seeing those numbers because it just proves that the Precure franchise keeps on improving. And another important thing for us to remember is that, as I said, when it comes to Precure, we're talking about Precure as a whole. So everything Precure related is entering those numbers. So this year, for example, we have Petit Cure or Precure Fairies that is airing on the internet. And we have toys, we have a cafe, we have merch for this, a lot of merch. We have experiences as with the cafe as well. So it's a big thing. It enhances the Precure brand for sure. We also have Dancing Star Precure. This year, we're going to have the third installment of Dancing Star being showcased in theaters in Japan. And it's another part of the Precure IP. It's another part of the Precure brand. And it also helps expand the Precure name, the Precure universe. Dancing Star, even though it does not have a lot of merchandise, there is some merchandise. There's Blu-ray, DVD, and there's also songs in that you can listen to in streaming platforms. This is a good way of supporting Dancing Star if you're not in Japan or if you cannot afford their Blu-rays or DVDs, but you like them. Listen to their songs on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, wherever you listen to your songs. The Dancing Star Precure songs are going to be there. Give them a stream. It's going to help the IP. It's going to help the franchise nonetheless. And another thing that I feel like is also very important for the increase of these numbers is the Otona series, Mirai Day series. Those two are also stuff that are able to make the Precure name fresh and powerful in the minds of people. This year, Otona Precure aired on 2023, and until it started in 2023 and it ended in 2023, but the merch did not stop coming. We are in 2025 and there is still merch coming out for Otona. There's still collabs, there's still special merch for different stores. Yes, Precure 5 and yes, Precure 5 Go-Go, they keep on getting merch, they keep on getting collabs as well, because I feel like Otona was able to revigorate even more this season right here. We also have Splash Star in this season, but I feel like, yes, the Go-Go team is a little bit more relevant when it comes to merchandise, when it comes to popularity. And the same happened with Mirai Days. Like it or not, hate those seasons or not, what matters is that they were able to bring back the passion and the love that fans had for those teams. And even though like those two particular teams, they never really left the fandom and the passion that the fans have for them. Like the Go-Go team and the Maho team, they are both like super, super loved. But now we have even more than what we had before. Mirai Days collabs, Mirai Days merch, they do not stop coming as well. They are endless. They just don't stop. And it's so pretty to see. I like it. They help revigorate a season. They help to revigorate a name, you know, when it comes to Precure. But obviously, since we're talking about 2025, the biggest numbers, the biggest sale, all of the eyes are on You and Idol Precure, Kimi to Idol Precure. This is being a huge hit as well. We also have the huge inclusion of the Zukyun Kiss duo. And Zukyun Kiss, they it feels like at least Kurizu-kun is like crazy popular. Their toys are very popular as well. It feels like Cure Kiss is a little bit more popular with adults, and Kurizu-kun is a little bit more popular with the kids. What matters is that they are extremely popular as well. Their sales are very good. Everything related to both Idol Precure and Zukun Kiss really fell into the graces of the public. And we can really see how this impacts based on the numbers that we just saw. I, as a fan of Precure, I feel like everything I said here to me wouldn't matter if I was not enjoying a season, if I was not liking and having fun, having my moment. I am really having my moment with you and Idol. I love this. But I feel like for us fans, a conversation of what is selling more and what is more popular is just for us to grasp how powerful the franchise is and how strong it's being. I love You and Idol, but right now, and I'm hoping You and Idol sells better than the last year's season, but I'm hoping the next year's season sells even more and the franchise keeps on, continuing, because that means more for us, even though this more might not be accessible because we would have to pay for more merchandise and for more experiences like concerts, expos, or cafes, etc. And we are not even able to go. But other fans are able to enjoy it. We are able to enjoy new arts of the characters we love so much. That is already something, right? And it helps keep the franchise alive. I feel like with those numbers, we that like collecting merchandise are able to enjoy other things. For example, this year, we're going to have, for the first time, the release of glitter and glamorous figures for the Precure franchise with Cure Black and Cure White. This, I believe that they are doing this because they are seeing how popular the IP is, the brand is. They wouldn't be doing those releases that they never done before with Precure if the numbers were not as good as they are nowadays. As a fan, what I want the most is to enjoy a season with good writing, with great storytelling, with amazing characters. I want to have fun. I want to have a gorgeous experience with the characters I love so much, with this franchise that I adore. But unfortunately, we have to deal with numbers. We have to deal with merchandise. We have to deal with sales, because this is what makes the world go round. Unfortunately, this is something we cannot really fight against as individuals. And as I said, I really don't like when it becomes a fan war, like, oh the season I like more sold more than your. I feel like this has nothing to do with the quality of the seasons. We have gorgeous seasons that did not sell very well, or at least in that year the Precure IP was not as strong, and we have other seasons that have sold like extremely well and some people don't like vibe with them very much. This has nothing to do with our tastes and how we enjoy a story, because I feel like there are so many ways of connecting to an anime. You can be someone who loves collecting merchandise and loves like taking screenshots of your favorite character, saving the moments of your favorite character or favorite characters. Or maybe you like it only for the narrative, for the story, or maybe you like it for everything. And also being a collector might also be part of how you enjoy a hobby. But it's definitely not a rule. You don't have to enjoy collecting merchandise to say, oh, I'm a fan. You can be the biggest fan of Precure and do not own one single piece of merch. That's how I see it, at least. But as I said, I feel like for us as fans, it's nice to understand how the franchise is doing, so that we can expect certain things more and how we can understand that Precure, the brand, the IP, is back, baby. In terms of sales, at least, in terms of numbers, it is really, it's never been gone. Even when the sales are not as high as they are nowadays. For example, in Delicious Party, the sales, if we look here, they were very low. But you know what? In this year, Delicious Party Precure, the Come Come toy, which was also the transformation device, it was the highest selling toy of the year for girls. So it's not that, Precure was bombing. No, probably the market wasn't as strong in those years, in that specific year, because even though the sales are not as strong as past years, it still had the highest selling toy of the year. That is the power of Precure. It never lost its power, but it feels like the momentum is even better for Precure now. I feel like it was important to clear that up because it might sound like I'm saying, Precure was done and now it's back. That's not what I mean. That's really not what I mean. Anyways, babies, this is it. Want to take this little time to thank the Magical Cinnamon production team helping me to organize and come up with this as well. Thank you very much. And also the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member here on YouTube, on Patreon, on Throne, thank you very much. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. So much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.